Good evening, class. I'm Rakestraw, and I want to take a moment of your time tonight to talk about the housing market crisis. As the pandemic effects subsided, the housing market in San Diego started to increase at an alarming rate. Houses in the local area have seen a historical rise in cost. When the cost of houses increase, so does the cost of rent. When the rent outpaces what people can afford, the evictions go up and increase in homelessness. With major investment companies buying up huge sums of properties during the pandemic caused the market to go up and rents increase. We are going to take a deep dive into what led to this increase in the housing market, what's currently happening, and what we can do to help alleviate the issues. In San Diego, you only have so much land to build on. You go west, you have the ocean. You go south, you have Mexico. You go east, you have the mountains. You go north, you have LA. There's a lot of protected land around San Diego giving access to the public for outdoor activities. But these constraints put a hamper on alleviating the housing shortage. The shortage may never be corrected because of the lack of land. Land value normally increases with the rate of inflation at 4% each year. Here in San Diego, we've seen a 40% increase in valuation, according to Mike Winters from CNBC. Along with that, there's been a 46 to 64% increase in rent in the last 2 years, according to Kim J. of San Diego News. The pandemic had mostly stopped the evictions, but these restrictions are being lifted now, and evictions are currently at a 5-year high, according to the Office Council President Sean L. Rivera, contributing to the higher homeless in San Diego. What are the causes for this? There are two issues that causes price rises: supply and demand. And in San Diego, there's a high demand, no supply. Contributing to this issue is large companies have invested heavily in San Diego during the pandemic. Corporations have invested in flipping single-family homes on speculation, getting people to pay more for those houses than their actual value, greatly raising the price of the homes around them. Of all the available rentals in San Diego, over 23% of the units are owned by major investing companies. As of 2016, according to Phillips Minar of San Diego Union Tribune. They have more control of the rental prices because of the lack of competition. As an example, Blackstone Group is the largest private equity company in the world. In 2001, they brought 5,600 units to San Diego, raising the rent by 63 to 64%. Or 43 to 64% in just 2 years, according to Kim J. of San Diego News. What is the city doing and what more can we do? San Diego just enacted a new tenant protection law limiting no-fault evictions. This is what's pulled from that new ordinance. It's the San Diego Municipal Code, Chapter 9, Building, Housing, and Sign Regulations, Article 8, effective June 4th, 2023. It offers protections beginning the day of the tenancy, with exceptions for short-term leases. If evicted for no fault of your own, that means you paid your rent, you followed the lease, you didn't do anything illegal, you are entitled to 2 months rent relocation and 3 months rent if you're a senior or a person with disabilities. That's paid for by the landlord. Strengthens protections when substantial remodeling can and can't be used for no-fault terminations. Ensure tenants have more notice when substantial renovations will happen, provides tenants with options for temporary relocation, and provide accountability measures for allowing attorney fees, exemplary damages, and processes for buyout agreements, creating additional legal resources for tenants. Looking at this new law, it does not apply to small landlords that rent ADUs or bedrooms in their house. This is more targeted towards big investment companies that force people out for renovations for the purposes of raising the rent afterwards. In addition to this new law, what more can we do? Even though neighborhoods won't like it, throughout San Diego there needs to be affordable housing and apartments built or made available to prevent class segregation. Work with the landlords, perhaps a tax exemption or more tax exemptions to offer affordable housing, taking into consideration what the minimum income is in that area. The affordable housing means no more than 30% of that income. Instead of setting a base rate of $4,000, $3,000 for that given area, landlords should look at prospective tenants' income and set the rent at 30% of their income. streamline the paperwork required to be eligible for affordable housing, extend first-time home buyer programs to secondary homes, and put a extended time needed to own the property before you can sell it. Education on the property before buying in high-value areas with regards to the rent caps. Okay, so we talked about the issues with the major investment companies buying up huge sums of properties, leading to the market to go up and the increase in the rents. With the restrictions enacted, what can we do to help the middle class and the lower class by putting rent caps and limits on major investment companies? Because when the price of housing becomes unattainable for individuals and only available to big corporations, then the working class loses. You'd be at the mercy of the corporations whose goal is to be profitable. Rents will become unattainable and you end up with segregated cities by class. Rich classes in one city, poor classes in another city, etc. And a higher homelessness population. Thank you for your time. Have a good evening.